Hello there. Come on in, guys. Type in freedom now. Type in freedom now as you're joining today, Monday, September 8th. We're going to have our immigration news segment in addition to our Q&A. Guys, today, as I was just a few minutes ago preparing to come live before you, I looked through some of the good news stories that I'm going to share today, and they really warmed my heart. You guys are achieving some amazing successes, and thank you so very much for sharing your success stories with us so that we could encourage others. They sure encourage me. So type in freedom now, guys. It's good to see you. Good to see you. And say where you're joining from today. If you're watching this on Facebook, share this live session with your feed because, as I always say, you never know who will need this information. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide and globally at McBean Law, where we believe in freedom, immigration freedom. It is one of the best feelings ever to be free to live your life in the US if that's where you choose to live it, free to travel, free to grow your business here, free to be your best in the United States if that's truly what you desire. We want it for you so badly, and we're so thrilled when you share your successes with us. So if you've achieved, guys, any level of success recently, share it in the comments in the chat today so that I could pull up your success stories next week, Monday, when I'm live again with you guys. So just let us know if you've been approved for the green card, U.S. citizenship, a work permit, something good happened to you or a relative or even a coworker. Type in freedom now. Freedom now. Our office is open. We're located in White Plains, New York, but we work virtually and globally with everyone who we're supposed to work with. We don't work with everyone. Those who we're to help and serve and do good work for, we work with those individuals globally. And you can reach out to us at 914-898-9488 to book an appointment with us. And so one of my colleagues will speak with you about your consultation. So book a consultation immediately if you have that urgent need in your life. Also, guys, just a reminder that we're asking that you do not spam during this live session. And when the time comes for your Q&As, I'm asking at that point that you respectfully add your question. You can don't any commentary, additional commentary will be a little distracting. So we're asking that you only add questions to the chat today and you're encouraging good news stories. All right. So we're going to go into some very important immigration news today. I have 4 important news to cover. So now let's go into the very first piece. And it has to do with Chicago, guys. Chicago is gearing up. It's like this airiness that's happening in Chicago. And I'll just grab my talking points here. An airy I'm not in Chicago. I'm not located in Chicago, of course, but I could, even from where I'm located, even today, I could sense that there's this eeriness over the city of Chicago as the president is gearing up to escalate U.S. military, National Guard, involvement in the city of Chicago. The Trump administration is escalating immigration enforcement efforts with a focus on sanctuary cities. Operations have already been seen in Boston and are being planned for Chicago. National Guard deployment. There are threats to deploy the National Guard to various cities, including Chicago and potentially Baltimore. Baltimore is on the table. Why? Because the White House is arguing that they are looking to target crime, violent crime. That's the underlying basis for engaging the military in this. And by the way, this engagement is illegal because a governor is supposed to invite the federal government into their state and city to help with fighting the violent crime. And that invitation has not happened yet in Chicago, all right, in Illinois. This situation highlights a major conflict between the federal government and Democratic led cities. Cities are actually pushing back through lawsuits like Washington, D.C., and by issuing orders for local police not to cooperate with federal agents, as in Chicago. Chicago, the mayor issued an executive order last week that directed their various agencies not to cooperate with ICE and the National Guard with immigration enforcement. Guys, are we talking about immigration enforcement or are we talking about crime? The government is blurring the two, they pairing the two, and again, we're going to continue. I think we're going to continue to see this pairing throughout the administration's time in office, crime and immigration together. Now, the White House has linked violent crime to immigration, a claim that is being challenged by local officials. For example, while Trump has slammed Chicago for its crime, data from the mayor's office shows that fatal shootings are down compared to the previous year. But, we all know that Chicago is a very dangerous place to be. No one, I don't think anyone of us can sit back knowing what we know that Chicago, it has a crime problem. Yes, they do. But does it warrant the federal government to bully its way into the city in this manner? And then we know that they're going to set up all of these checkpoints to try to catch immigrants and crack down and do other illegal activities? No, not at all. Let the governor invite the White House in to assist with violent crime, not in this bully manner that we're seeing here. So that's what's going on in the city of Chicago. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Before I go into the next segment, again, I'm reminding you guys, please share your success stories because I will be sharing your stories next week. Now, the next big news, guys, the next big thing that everyone is talking about, and I even also have a video on social media about this, is what happened in Georgia, close to Savannah, Georgia, last week on Thursday and Friday, when the feds went in and conducted the largest worksite raid in U.S. history at a Hyundai LG battery plant construction site in Elabel, Georgia, which is close to Savannah. And this is a very, very sensitive and still developing situation. Um, the raid, again, was the largest single site enforcement operation in Homeland Security's investigations history, with nearly 500 people arrested. And this arrest happened after months of investigation, according to the feds, and the majority of the individuals who were detained or arrested were South Korean nationals, many of whom were in the United States on a visa, on a visa or the visa waiver program. The raid also included 23 Mexicans and one green card holder, at least one green card holder. Both Hyundai and LG have stated that none of their direct employees were impacted, although I thought I also saw something from LG which said that maybe about 40 something of their people were caught up in this, employees were caught up in this. But in any event, most of the individuals who were detained were working for subcontractors. And this is a very sensitive issue because the South Korean president was in the United States not too long ago in the White House, rubbing shoulders with President Trump about trade opportunities and opportunities for the two countries to continue to work side by side. Bilateral relations were being strengthened and all of that good stuff. And then here you have this major raid that occurred in Georgia, which is cooperating fully with the Trump administration on immigration crackdown. And oh, by the way, Georgia, the governor of Georgia was also in South Korea a couple of times trying to bring business to Georgia. So here they are bringing business to Georgia and then cooperating with the Trump administration on a major crackdown of immigration. And now they're standing there like, what just happened here? what just happened here. So this is highly sensitive. The South Korea is sending a charter plane to bring back their individuals, their people. I think they're still here, actually. They're looking to repatriate over 300 of their citizens who were detained. The relationship, of course, is being strained between the US and South Korea. And of course, there will be an impact on foreign investment. The White House, President Trump has said on Truth Social that, on the one hand, we really want your investment in the United States. Please continue. We're asking you to don't stop, invest in the US. We want your investment, but at the same time, please respect our immigration laws and but bring your money here and employ US workers. So that's the message from the White House. So this is a huge issue, guys, very big, because more worksite raids are expected. This is just one big illustration of the conflicting issues of foreign relations and immigration crackdown. And the feds wanted to go big on this one. They didn't want to continue to do, they do the smaller worksite raids, and we see that happening, but they really wanted to go in and do something like, wow, big. And now this is what has happened, and it's created huge impact on the foreign relations, I should say, foreign relations. Now, we'll continue to see what happened there with the Hyundai issue. Now, the next issue, guys, this is actually good news. Okay, if I could just get to it. Where is it? And this one has to do with TPS, Temporary Protected Status. You might have also seen my update, my short that I sent to you on YouTube, letting you know that we have some good news for now regarding TPS for Venezuela and Haiti, in which a federal judge, Judge Edward Chen, ruled on Friday that the Trump administration violated federal law by trying to cancel TPS for more than 1 million Venezuelans and Haitians. This ruling was made on September 5th on Friday, and the judge stated that the Secretary of Homeland Security, friends, lacked the authority to end the TPS program, and that the decision to end TPS for these two countries was motivated by racism. And the judge noted that there was no evidence of any reasoned decision making behind the cancellation. Judge Chen had previously blocked the cancellation of TPS for more than 600,000 Venezuelans. This is was back in the spring. The March ruling was upheld by an appeals court, but has since been paused by the U.S. Supreme Court, and the administration, of course, is appealing this latest decision. So, guys, we're going to continue to track what's going on with TPS, but for now, my understanding is, of course, renewals. You could continue to submit your renewal applications, and USCIS is expected to issue an update. I have not looked into any issues related to USCIS updates this weekend or today, but we're expecting USCIS to issue an update that will say something like this: while the litigation is ongoing, you can continue to submit your renewals for your work permit. Okay, so be on the lookout for that type of announcement from USCIS. Terrific, guys. Thank you for your comments. Please know that I'm going to get to your Q&A, the questions, momentarily. I have one very big, important news to cover that I'm going to go into now. And also, please be sure to add your good news stories. We would love to share your success stories with the world. Whew. I have to take a deep breath for this one, guys. Why? Not to be overly dramatic, but this one is really awful. And I did share this weekend about this. This has to do with a Friday decision from the Board of Immigration Appeals, okay, the BIA, that essentially says this: that if an individual entered the United States without inspection, without seeing someone at the border or airport, port of entry, handing them a visa, or a passport, and all of that, or entry documents into the United States. That person came to the United States in a manner that was secretive. They snuck in without inspection, and they are here in the United States, and somehow they find themselves in detention. ICE arrests them. That individual um, will not be able to seek a bond for their release before an immigration judge to argue to the judge that, you know what, I am not a flight risk. I have been in the United States for the last 15 years. I have my children here who are in school. I have my husband here. He's working. I've been working. I have my business set up. I'm not going anywhere. I have a clean record. I have never committed a crime a day in my life. I'm a pretty decent person. I've even been paying taxes. I've been doing what I know to do. And even along the way, I might have had an I-130 filed for me, and I'm still tied up right now. I don't yet have my green card, but I'm trying. I'm in the process. I have an approved petition, or I have a U visa application pending, or I have a VAWA application pending. Please let me be released so that I can continue my immigration fight, back home and not here in detention. The BIA has said that individuals will not be able to make that type of argument to a judge, an immigration judge, that the immigration judge does not have jurisdiction to hear those types of arguments and issue a bond to release these individuals. And so you might be saying, well, if that's the case, what are they to do then? What are they supposed to do? Are they just supposed to stay there, right there until they get their final hearing? Well, the intent, I think, of course, as you guys know, the BIA and the I should have been wearing, it just dawned on me, I should have been wearing a headset to block out some things. But the BIA is um, the policy people at the Justice Department are Trump appointees, and they are making it very clear that whatever comes out of the BIA is in alignment with the Trump administration's ideas and interpretation of immigration law and policy. And so a decision like this is stemming from that belief system. And so now what's expected is that individuals just stay detained, mandatory detention, and fight, or they could ask for voluntary departure to leave the United States right away. They could just be deported right away, sign paperwork to leave detention, and be placed on an airplane back to their home country. That is obviously the intent here, because no, most individuals will not want to stay detained in those bad conditions. They just don't. So this is part of the psychological warfare that I've been talking about to you and to other people, other interested folks, that there's financial warfare that they've waged on immigrants to self-deport, and then there's this now that is also psychological to get you to self-deport or to ask for voluntary departure. That's what this is really about. And so now what these individuals will need to think about doing is having their attorney file habeas. That's what we're going to be doing if we have clients in this situation and we can't get them out. We can't ask for a bond. Well, we're going to argue that their detention is unlawful. This is unlawful detention. There's no reason to keep them there. So this, I think, is going to obviously be the fight is going to continue on this one, because this is a huge, 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 big change in how things have been happening over the years with immigration. So this is going to go all the way up, I believe. So again, this impacts those who entered without inspection. If you're here, guys, and you're just caught by ICE somehow, and you've been here for so many years, and you had entered the United States without inspection, the fact that you have a 601A waiver or anything pending is not really going to be what will help to get you out of this situation from detention. It really, I believe, has to be a habeas, okay, in federal court to get you out. So this is the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest bad news that is happening these days. I'm happy to answer questions about this issue and other issues that you have. So with that being said, I'm gonna go right now into the live chat. Freedom Now, Freedom Now. Hey there, Melvis. Thank you, Freedom Now. Let's see, I covered a lot. Thank you guys for being here today. Let's go up a little bit. Let's see, let's go up. Again, guys, I'm asking only for questions, not commentary at this time, okay? Unless it is you sharing that you've achieved some sort of success with your immigration case. Someone says, Candy says, I live in Washington, D.C. I have an asylum interview. I'm scared to go outside. I am here legally, but I have a pending asylum case. So this is the real fear that people have right now. Candy, I don't want you to be afraid to go outside. I know it's easy for me to sit where I'm sitting right here today and say that to you. But I just want you to know that you're on track to getting your status straightened out here. Carry proof with you that you have something pending. But again, it's the situation, right? You're not in removal. You're on track. You're here with your asylum case. I don't know anything else about you. It's whether or not an individual is going to be detained by ICE and stay in detention. It's just hard to say who. Um, what I'm trying to say here is that who they're targeting, it's very hard for us to know who they're targeting these days because we see them making a lot of random universal sweeps here and there. And then other times we see them making targeted, um, enforcement activities like going after an individual who has a removal order, because there are, maybe more than 15 million individuals in the United States right now who do not have lawful status. It's clear they can't go after everyone. You're on track. Hang in there. If you do, if you're detained, be prepared even before that to have your family member reach out to an immigration attorney who you know and can trust to work on the case for you. That's really going to be my advice for everyone now. That's really going to be it. Um, does USCIS take into account pertinent evidence after submitting an initial response to a notice of intent to revoke? Do they take into, so a notice of intent to revoke may be an approved I-130 petition that was filed on your behalf. That was your opportunity to send those pertinent evidence, okay, to them to convince them not to revoke that approved case that you have on your record. They should take into account, but I don't know what, when you say pertinent evidence, it really has to be relevant, it has to be persuasive in order for you to hold on to that approved case and for them not to revoke it. If you need help after this point, after you get a decision in this case, reach out to us so that we could take a look at your records and see how we might be able um, uh, to assist you. Can I talk about successes that we've had with respect to citizenship in our office? Yes. So go to McBeanLaw.com/success, and there you will see the success stories that we've shared about naturalization. We do have stories about naturalization on our website. Just peruse that and take a look at those success stories. Also, you could subscribe to our newsletter. And on Sundays, each week, we share one of our top success stories of the week with you. Subscribe at McBeanLaw.com/subscribe as well. Do I have any updates with respect to the travel ban? So Edmund, I do not. I do not. Our government did promise us, right, that within 90 days they were going to do some sort of assessment to determine whether the countries that are on the travel ban list should continue to be on that list. And it's at that point they would make any updates. I have not seen anything related to the travel ban update, July, August, September. I think they're at that 90-day point, but I'm not certain. if there's something good that comes out or bad related to travel bans, let's just turn this off because we need to conserve the battery here. Anything concerning the travel bans, certainly I will try my best to update you, okay? Thank you for that question. Let's keep going, guys. Let's see. AK says that my cases were stuck with USCIS. The form is I-824 for my wife and children to join me. Case was started in 2023 and it was denied after 2 years. It was denied after 2 years in December 2024. Refiled it with an expedite in January 2025. Since then, no update from USCIS. It doesn't sound to me like USCIS approved that expedite request. You can reach out to us, AK, for us to even know what kind of cases these are and what went wrong and how we might be able to assist you. Freedom now, guys. Freedom now. By the way, I do not have a mouse with me, so I'm using my little fingers here on this touchpad here, and so that's why it's a little slower today to toggle through some of these questions. Freedom now, guys. Someone says, have been expecting my 10-year green card after interview in August of 2023. Okay, you interviewed, wow, 2 years ago, and no green card yet. The government is doing a background check on your case, okay, Mercy? So you could contact us. Guys, if your case is pending for a long time like this, after an interview, reach out to an attorney to talk about it and to gear up to push back and fight the government to see what's going on there. Because once you have an interview with the government, that's really their opportunity to wrap things up with your file and close it out for you and with an approval. This has taken too long, I think, Mercy, and so we'd be happy to discuss this with you to see what's on your record and to advise you potentially about what could be causing this type of delay. But like you said, you're expecting it. You're expecting your green card. I'm expecting it with you. Language is everything, right? I get that. I totally understand that, okay? Okay, let's keep going. You guys have some great questions today. Thank you very much. Type in freedom now. Um, good news. My 10 years green card was approved by the judge last week. That's wonderful. What is the next step? So the court is going to send over some information to USCIS. It might take some time though, for that to happen. I don't know what your jurisdiction is, what city you were approved by an immigration judge. Guys, you see the system still works. Judges, there are judges who are still, objectively looking at your case and approving your case. So this is the hardest part for you is over. Okay, and so like I said, the court will send some information over to USCIS for them to issue a green card to you. Okay, let's see. Let's go down a little bit. I overstayed my visa. I overstayed with inspection. If I got caught and I don't have a criminal record, can I be bonded out and fight the case? Absolutely. 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 You can be bonded out. The judge can hear your case. The judge will have jurisdiction over this, okay? Let's keep going. Freedom now, guys. Type in freedom now. Let's see. I filed the I-130. Do I have to wait for approval? before filing the I-485. It depends on, are you eligible for the adjustment of status? Are you eligible for concurrent filing? Is a visa available to you? If a visa is available to you, then absolutely you can go ahead and do the I-485. But are you doing this on your own? It sound with a question like this says to me that and you might need some real help. Like you need help from someone who knows what he or she is doing, right? So I think you should seek some help if you're able to seek some help. We'd be happy to help you with that decision. Let's see. In if a case is in if in case ordered a person is ordered removed, can you still apply for a work permit? Um, if you're ordered removed, you have a removal order, your case went down, you're not eligible for a work permit at that point. Let's see. Um, how will this affect someone with an administratively closed case? How will this affect someone with an administrative? How will what affect? If your case has been administratively closed, guys, what you should understand is this, that the government is in the process of recalendaring 400,000 cases, okay? 400,000 cases um, will be uh, will be recalendared. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm speaking with a colleague. Uh, I'm speaking with a colleague right now, my moderator. Guys, continue to be civil, okay? Okay, the moderator says, okay, we're good in there. Thank you very much. Um, let's see. Continue to add your good news stories so that my moderator, my colleague, can pull those stories for us next week and share them with everyone else to encourage them. And continue, guys, to be civil in the comments. Let's see if I could grab a few more questions today before we go. Um, let's see. My Venezuelan wife has overstayed her work visa in the Dominican Republic while we wait for her CR1 visa to come to the United States. Do you think that it will impact the decision? We were married with a child. So your wife overstayed her visa. Um, I think she'll be okay. Okay, I have some questions, Kevin, about this fact pattern that you've shared here, but I think that she will be okay. Um, and you're married with a child. Okay. I think you'll be fine. By the way, for some individuals, although I do have questions, by the way, Kevin. So if you want to have a one-on-one with us, you could do that, okay? Just guys, just know that with respect to the condition of the removal of conditions process, you should know that the government is interviewing folks, but they are also waiving some interviews, okay? They are still waiving some interviews for the for the the removal of conditions, the I-751 petition process. Okay, let's see. I did an I-130 petition for my mom from 2023. It is still stuck at USCIS. Any idea, please? An I-130 petition for your mother should have been approved a long time ago. Did you receive an RFE along the way, maybe asking you to prove some things about your relationship with your mother? Something has slowed this down. I think that that should have been approved a very long time ago, and then you should have been at the visa center process. Your mother should be here by now, really. So something's going on there with that case, and we could take a look at that for you if you reach out to us. Thank you. Let's see. Ascension. Um, Uh, the Haitians, I think I saw this question is about, can Haitian nationals wait in the Bahamas for visa interview? I thought I saw a colleague of mine. I don't know guys, I'm not really in my right setup right now, so bear with me. Um, can One of my colleagues sent me some information recently about the State Department, and I believe they are redirecting people to Nassau, Bahamas, okay, from Haiti. Okay, that's what that, to my understanding, you could confirm this on the State Department's website, is where they are directing Haitian nationals to Nassau, Bahamas for an interview. All right, that's what I understand to be the case there, Janet. I don't know anything more about what's going on there aside from that, but you could confirm that on the State Department's website. Um, let's see. I came to the United States on one of those crewman visa. I left the ship on a U.S. port, been through customs. What will happen if I get detained? What will happen? I think that you'll be fine to seek a bond. Okay, you might be fine to seek a bond. I think that you'll be able to do that. Is this way? Let's see, is the easiest way for the government to go after naturalized citizens to detain them at airports upon them returning back to the United States? No, that's not normal. That's not something that the government would normally do, unless certainly you have, let's say you have a warrant for your arrest because you've done something seriously bad. Well, if you've done something seriously bad, just like any other person, yes, they would, if once they have you in front of them, of course they would take that opportunity to detain you. But if you don't have anything bad that you've done to other people, or you've committed some big fraud, and you're facing some very serious federal charges, there's no reason for them to just randomly detain you, naturalized citizen. Okay. Again, only if you've committed something really bad, done something really bad, then you're gonna be detained, of course. Is it a good time to still file the I-601A waiver? Okay, I have an approved I-130 petition. I do think that if the I-60, because the I-601A is still available today it's available, you should go ahead and do it if you're eligible for it, because that's your way of getting your green card. This process still works. We do this for our clients. They still get their approval, and they still leave the United States and interview at a U.S. embassy and do well and come back. Every case is certainly different, and it's a delicate process, but this waiver is still available today, and so jump at that opportunity. Any updates on the Dignity Act? I do not have any updates on the Dignity Act today. Let's see, where am I? Go down a little bit. Guys, remember to add your successes here so that we can share them with others next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, go down a little bit here. I think I've answered that one already. Let's see, maybe if I could take, let's see. Here's a marriage, looks like this is a marriage-based question. I married my wife in January. We have a baby, a 4-year-old child together. Okay. She filed for me and we are having our interview, but I'm scared because my EAD wasn't issued yet. Well, why are you afraid? Why are you afraid? There's no reason to be afraid. If you have a clean record, you're on track maybe to adjust your status through your wife. When did she file for you? The EADs are being issued for most marriage-based cases 1 to 3 months. Humanitarian work permits those cases have slowed down. VAWAs and U's and other ones have slowed down with the receipts and work permits. But as far as the marriage-based process is concerned, you get in your EAD will depend on how long you've been waiting, right? How long has it been? Don't worry, you're on track, and I wish you well with that case. A lot of marriage cases are being approved today still. Despite the fact that things are getting more difficult, the government is still approving cases. Freedom now, freedom now. Um, Let's see, U.S. citizen parent sponsored adult unmarried child. Priority date is 2018. The case is at the Visa Center. How long for the interviews? What you can do is go on the Visa Bulletin website for September and take a look at the F1 category and see what year they're up to. I'm not going to be able to do that for you today. So go ahead and do that. It's an easy Google search, okay? Um, let's see, let's keep going. Thank you, Freedom Now, Freedom Now. Um, Okay, so I was deported in 2009 due to missing a court date. I lived overseas for 13 years. I got married with a U.S. citizen, my green card was approved. We moved to the United States 3 years ago. Should I apply for citizenship, even though I was deported for missing a court date in the past? I think that we should have a one-on-one before you proceed with your citizenship process. I would want to understand a little bit more about what placed you in removal in the first place, what's on your immigration history, why did you get into the removal system to begin with? Guys, this is a great illustration of how the system works. The fact that this individual was deported and he left the United States, he was deported, and he was out for that good stretch of time. 10 years is usually is the ban related to a removal order, and he was out for 13 years. He's married to a U.S. citizen. It's a bona fide marriage. The government approved the case. I'm sure he has a waiver here and there, and then getting all of the approvals that was needed. He's back in the United States as a green card holder. So it says to me that he doesn't have an aggravated felony on his record. There's he received that removal order for missing a hearing, so that's in absentia. But I'm curious as to what placed him in removal to begin with, so that I could have the full story of his immigration record before advising whether now is a good time or whether he should give it a little bit longer to wait this administration out, right? Let's see. Um, let's see. Let's go down a little bit. I am a green card holder, and I filed an I-130. I filed an I-130 for my husband. Okay. My naturalization will be next year. I hope I won't have any issues. Okay. I wish you the best with that process as well. And then you could upgrade once you become a naturalized citizen, you just need to upgrade your husband's case so that a visa will be then made available to him and he wouldn't have to continue to wait in that category. Okay, let's see. Let's keep going. Freedom Now, guys. Let's keep the engagement going. Freedom Now, or an immigration question in the chat, or a success story. If you missed the important news that I shared earlier, watch the replay of today's live session. Let's see. Someone says, I've overstayed my visa. I overstayed 3 years before getting married. Okay. Now I have a 2-year green card. Plus, I've upgraded to 10 years. Okay, so you're permanent resident. Though only 4 years extension since yet. Case still processing. Oh, so it sounds to me like you have a pending I-751 petition. Is that what you're saying here, Abu? Um, can I travel out? So if you have a pending I-751 petition, you guys, it's funny, right? Because sometimes, you tell a joke to yourself in your head and you laugh, and then you realize, oh, that was only in my head. No one else heard it. So occasionally when I laugh, it's because I'm just entertaining myself, because this is, you got to keep the joy. The joy of the Lord is our strength, right? And so, yeah. You guys know too much now. So Abu, it sounds to me like this is an I-751 removal of conditions case, and you can travel, but if you're having problems in your marriage, you should not travel with a pending I-751 that you filed jointly with your spouse, because customs can ask you questions about your marriage, and they can pick up the phone and call your wife and ask her how things are going. And if she's not happy with you, then it could appear that they might think that you've committed fraud. So only travel with that I-751 removal of conditions pending if you're in good stand-in with your spouse in your marriage still. Otherwise, just wait and until you get your 10-year green card before traveling. That's how I'm interpreting your question, that you have a pending 751 petition, okay? Freedom now, guys. It's good to see you on this Monday afternoon. Thank you for being with me. My friend is in Washington State, but wants to come to New York. What she should be, her husband is there. Her husband is there. Okay. So undocumented individuals can move around the country at their own will if they choose to do so. Okay. I'm not hearing any stories uh, well, I'm not hearing any stories about people having major problems as they're trying to fly around the United States. So Remy says that the Bahamian government said they will not be doing it. That's interesting because, as you probably saw on the State Department's website, they are directing Haitians to this is not my device, so I can't get into my Teams here to pull up what my colleague had shared with me last week. Um, yeah, Bahamas. That's where they said that they were directing people to, from my understanding. And now the government, you're saying the government is of Bahamas is saying they're not going to accept that. Um, by the way, it would be a embassy interview, so I don't know what's going on there with Bahamas. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. What should one do to prepare for an upcoming N400 naturalization interview? One should, because good moral character is the major standard now that could get a person denied for naturalization, they should obviously hone in on that issue, Nordia. They should get some letters together, notarized letters from maybe employers, to their employer, their maybe even a neighbor, someone who you go to church with or you are part of an organization with who could attest to your involvement and your character and how long you've been serving or working in the community or whatever you do or at work. Get some of those letters together for your naturalization interview. Anything that could really boost your show that you've been actively involved in building your community and doing good. Have that strong record, okay? If you've gone back to school over the years and earned some certifications and progressed in your education, be ready with copies of your certificates or your licenses. Have copies of your various licenses that you've gotten from the state over the years and any professional growth. Um, Build a case about a person who has been here in the United States and has progressed in her career and in her involvement in her community and in your social life. You have a real you have strong ties here in the United States and you're kind of happy here, right? you know, to be here and you want to build. So show those things. And of course, you know the normal drill. Prepare for your interview. Prepare yourself by looking at your old application for the green card from years ago. If you still have copies of those applications, every application you file with immigration, you could take a look at them. You could even do a FOIA request to request your records from the various agencies with immigration to see, make sure everything is good and your journey from the visa all the way up until now is consistent and clear so that you're not blindsided in the event you've forgotten some detail on your record. and certainly have all of the other documents ready that they have indicated that you need to bring. If you have a criminal history, you bring the arrest record and all of those details that they're seeking, the certified disposition and all of that. But yeah, hone in on good moral character, because that's really what the government is looking for today. All right, guys, let's go into some of your good news stories. This is the best part of today. Someone says, I got my work permit through VAWA and I'm celebrating. You should celebrate. It's good to be able to work lawfully in the United States. Pauline says, I got my citizenship in April of this year and I am so glad it is out of the way. Congratulations, Pauline. That's great news. A new citizen. Burl says, this is the work of the Most High God. My husband got his 10-year green card recently after his interview with uscis. That is great. Congratulations to your husband on getting his green card. Hebora says, Mrs. McBean, this gentle, uplifting message is exactly what we need to hear now. Your positive encouragement encouraged me to apply for my naturalization, and I got it done in 2 months. God is still our miracle worker. That's terrific. Congratulations. Ella says, I was so stressed waiting on my 10-year green card that I stopped doing the dishes and I prayed for a fast approval of my application. And since I'm asking God, I added, with no interview, please. The next day, the next morning on August 15th at 5:32 a.m., I received an email from USCIS saying my application was approved with no interview after just 6 months of submitting removal of conditions. Guys, she said it. I didn't. This is her story, and it will always be her story, and it is fantastic. I love it. This was wonderful, guys. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Ah, this was great. You guys are the best. I forgot to include in this my clip of my marriage prep course. If you are facing an interview, I do not have the clip. I do not have the clip. I forgot to include it. Go figure. If you guys are facing a marriage based interview coming up at USCIS, not abroad at a US embassy, I have a different course for you guys who are facing embassy process. This is for those of you here in the United States who received an interview notice. It could be an I-130 interview notice or it could be an I-45 interview notice, and your case is based on marriage. I have a terrific resource that I created for you guys three 3 years ago. 3 years ago, fully created the entire course for you, fully. And got busy with life and building our law firm to help people with their very complex cases. And so now the course is ready to be launched. It's launching on September 15th. And if you pre-order it, guys, by September 14th, that's the last day to pre-order, you will get 15% off. The course is priced correctly, and it is a low price of $297. And what you can do is, I'm asking my moderator, Rashid, if you can please type the link, put the link to the course in the chat, guys. It's there already. He reads my mind. He's learning to read my mind. You got to read your boss's mind in order to succeed. So he read my mind and it's in the chat. Okay. Need help preparing for your marriage based green card? Go to this website. It's my website, my other website, latoyamcbean.mykajabi.com. And you will see my marriage prep course. Click on it, guys. Click on the link so that you can pre-order, and the course will launch to those who folks have already started pre-ordering. And what you can do is pre-order it, and then on September 15th it will be made available to you. You're going to see it's all there. It's 23 videos plus worksheets plus key takeaways, and it's like I'm there with you, getting in your head of you and your spouse to prepare for your interview. USCIS has said, why am I getting this out now? I'm getting this out now because I feel a strong urgency. Like God is saying, why are you sitting on all this good stuff you've created and you have a lot of stuff? Just get them out to the people. It doesn't have to be like 100% perfect. People really need the help. Just get them out, get them out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying my best to promote it, to get it out to you guys. And if you pre-order, you'll get this little discount, 15% off, and then you'll get all of those materials. I will be there with you in your mind on your interview. You'll hear me in your head. I'm sure of it. With those questions, I go through a lot of questions. I go through all the background stuff that USCIS usually drill down on. I'm actually going to film because of some a very important update that came out last week about USCIS adding law enforcement agents. Now they're adding law enforcement agents at these at USCIS field offices. I'm actually going to be filming a special segment to my marriage course talking about that. It's updated and it's going to be even more updated this week, next weekend, when I get a chance to do that before the final version goes out to you guys on September 15th. So that piece is going to be there too. So things are so important now with immigration. It's a law enforcement agency again with officers there with a gun who will be arresting some people who they suspect is has committed fraud, and also they say that if they deny your case, they're going to place individuals in removal proceedings. So the stakes are so high now. You've got to get it right. You have to know what to expect. You have to know how to think. You have to know how to speak. You have to know how to present a compelling, persuasive argument that you are in a genuine marriage. They're still proven cases, as we've been sharing. So just know that the process is still working, even, in the during these tough times. My course is designed to give you a little bit more to supplement what your attorney is doing with you. And if you do not have an attorney to work with, this gives you the foundational understanding of how to prepare for that interview so that you could still walk in there feeling confident and feeling well prepared. Study for this, guys. This is not any coaching thing. I'm not coaching anyone. I'm not a coach. I'm the worst coach, actually. I'm not coaching. I'm literally helping you to understand this is how you should think, this is how you should present yourself, and this is how you can succeed. That's the whole thing, the whole objective. I also brought back, it's an old course, and if you go to that website, my website, you will see I have some of my oldies on there. I haven't had time to update them, but I do have one about embassy, preparing for your embassy interview if you're overseas. It's only $37. That's all that it is. It's old, but you will get something from it. Some things have changed a little bit with the system, but for the most part, for $37, you'll get what you need to get to understand some basics with an embassy interview. So that's back because a lot of you bought that years ago, and so I brought that back for you. And then at the end of this month, we're going to try to also bring back our marriage prep course. I'm sorry, the MPP, which is the I-130 course for couples, how to prepare a marriage petition in a compelling way for USCIS. I'm bringing that back. That needs some updating because things have changed a lot with immigration. So that one we're pushing out maybe to the end of September to launch it to you guys. But guys, go on Kajabi, LatoyaMcBean.com, my Kajabi dot I think it's .com. It's in the chat, and pre-order the marriage prep, the interview prep course so that you guys can be prepared. Someone is asking how much do we charge for a consultation? So it's now $300 from my colleague. I'm up at 400 now. I'm trying to grow the firm, and we have some big important things that we're working on to be able to help people in a very big, substantial way. So I've got to meet with the right people on my calendar who really have a case. If you're in removal, I'll have that meeting with you. If you have been denied, you'll get that meeting with me. If you have an appeal case, we'll talk about that. If it's a removal of conditions, we will talk about that. So there are certain types of complex cases that I'm really honing on in my meetings to help our clients. And then my colleagues are more than qualified, trust me, more than qualified to handle anything else you bring to them. It's a smart team. We've had a couple of lawyers who we've hired and they ran out the door after 1 week, literally ran out because they're like, whoa, I'm not experienced for this. Literally, because we handle the tough things. And so the team is really, really good and strong and ready. So just know that you're going to get a quality attorney when you sit down and have your consultation with us. Again, we could be reached at 914-898-9488 or at info@mcbeanlaw.com. Guys, it was such a pleasure being with you today, and we're going to wrap up now. Follow me on social media on TikTok and Instagram and certainly Facebook, where you get more from me and see me pop up live from time to time. Thanks so much for being with me, guys. Hang in there. It's a tough time, but we're in this together, and you're going to get through this. Have a wonderful week. You guys know I'm going to need a little week to rest as well. And be back before you soon. Thanks so much. Have a good afternoon. Bye bye.